What's going on, guys? Patrick back from Yin Yang Zing, bringing you a deck profile on Blue-Eyes Chaos Mix. This is for a friend of mine's birthday, because he and I both enjoy this deck, and I figured I would do my deck profile on it, so he could get a view of it and see what he thinks. So, happy birthday to you, by the way, you know who you are. So, let's jump right into the deck. This is the deck I've been working on the longest, well, second longest. Dark World still exists, but spent a lot of time on this. I've taken it to a few competitions, and it's done really well for me. This is pretty updated, and it's got some of the new support, so we'll jump right in. So 3 Blue-Eyes Chaos Max. I know that's a little weird, but I like having it as an additional level 8, so I always have a trade-in target. And I don't mind pitching this because I run the Whitestone of Ancients and other things in the deck to recycle it back to hand. So, there are ways to get around that formula. Next up is 3 Blue-Eyes White Alternative Dragons. Super powerful. Targeted destruction, so you can get rid of a monster on your opponent's side of the field. 3,000 body, easy to summon. All the generic reasons that you want to play it. 3 Blue-Eyes White Dragons. It's a Blue-Eyes deck, so you gotta have the 3 vanillas. And finally, for your level 8s, is 1 Dragon Spirit of White. I've been playing with the idea of 2, and if you want to run 2, because I don't run Twin Twisters, get rid of one of the Chaos Max, run 2 Chaos Max, and 2 Dragon Spirit of White, and it's still a good formula. So, that's it for your Blue-Eyes engine. Or your Blue-Eyes monsters, I guess. Next up is triple Sage with Eyes of Blue. If you're a Blue-Eyes player, you know how powerful Sage is. Sage is a fantastic card. It really gets your game started. You could pop a monster on the field, or you can add a tuner to your hand, and you can pair that up with, like, if you get into Dragon Spirit of White, or Blue-Eyes Spirit Dragon, you can then go into Crystal Wing off of it, because you'll go into Fairy, and Ancient Fairy Dragon's going to let you get another summon, so 3 Whitestone of Ancients. This is a huge part of the core of the deck. You got to run 3, and it's a fantastic card. When it's in the graveyard, when it's sent to the graveyard at that end phase, you get to summon a Blue-Eyes monster, and then you can add a Blue-Eyes monster from your graveyard to your hand, so it's good for recycling. That's the recycling target, by the way. And then, for the last of the 2 Blue-Eyes cards, 1 Whitestone of Legend. Whitestone of Legend lets you add 1 to your hand with Cards of Consonance. You add a Blue-Eyes and then you draw 2. And finally, 1 Master with Eyes of Blue. Master is a fantastic card in this deck. Because you run Manju, and other cards in the deck, like you can summon Master, pitch Sage to pop Master, and then if you go into whatever, or if you use it for a Synchro play, now you've got it on the field. If you Manju, you can do other things with it, so there's a lot of versatility with this card. So, and then the last card that's kind of a Blue-Eyes card, but not really, is 1 the King of D. It searches off Melody or Dragon Revival Rhapsody. So it's just a super good card, super useful in the deck, so that's that. Now to your final monsters. You play 3 Manju of the 10,000 hands. Easy target for Sage, easy target for Master, so they're just it's a really good card because it searches off whatever piece you're missing. And 1 Effect Veiler. Veiler is there just to stop effects and to help you. This is a very strong going second deck. On to the spell cards. So, triple Melody of the Awakening Dragon. Melody searches off either Chaos Max, Blue-Eyes White Alternative, or Blue-Eyes White Dragon. So, it's very versatile. It searches out 9 cards, so it's almost never dead in your hand. And it's essentially a +1, and you get to thin your deck. 3 Return of the Dragon Lords. It has protection. It's still the best revival spell in this deck. But it's not the only one, but it is a very powerful one. because it's like Monster Reborn, but you're summoning back things that you can use, and it gives you inherent protection in your graveyard. And then triple trade-in. Trade-in is essential. You run 3, 6, 9, 10 level 8s, so I mean a third of your deck, or a quarter of your deck, 25%, is a target for trade-in, so it's just a fantastic card. Next into your 2 ofs, 2 advanced ritual arts, and 2 chaos form. ARA is good for, is the better of the 2, but chaos form is also really helpful if you've searched a lot and then you can pull that off, and you can go for like Blue Eyes White Alternative, summon that, then a chaos form, pitch to Blue Eyes in hand, summon your chaos max, and then if you have another spell like Return of the Dragon Lords, now you've got all these level 8s on the board, and you can do some rank 8 plays and things like that. And then finally 2 Silver's Cry, 1 Dragon Revival Rhapsody, and 1 Cards of Consonance. Silver's Cry to bring back your Blue Eyes and your Dragon Spirit of White. Revival Rhapsody, because if Dragon Spirit of White's in the graveyard, then you can pull back 2, as long as you have like a Master or a Sage or an Effect Veiler or the King of D on field. And then Cards of Consonance is to pitch your 3 Whitestone of Ancients or your Whitestone of Legend to get more card advantage. So that's it for the main deck. We're going to go into the extra deck now, and the extra deck is pretty good, pretty strong. So 1 Blue Eyes Twin Burst Dragon. It's your only fusion. Next up is 2 Blue Eyes Spirit. Spirit is great against your Pendulum matchup. If you can find a way to go into this early and often, you can lock them out of their, because they can't Pendulum summon, and then you can go for other kind of degenerate things to screw up their game state. 1 Azure-Eyes Silver Dragon. Protection, Revival effect. Doesn't come up much, but in grindier games, that card's actually incredibly useful. Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, which you can go into off of either Black Rose Moonlight Dragon, which you do use quite a lot, actually. An Ancient Fairy Dragon. Ancient Fairy Dragon is the better one, especially because my side deck is to change it to standard Blue Eyes, and it's like a going first kind of strategy, so, and that's just how I play it. But Ancient Fairy Dragon is incredibly useful in both situations because it allows you a second normal summon, which can be very helpful. Alright. 1 number 68. It's honestly here because it's a rank 8. I've never actually had the opportunity to go into it, so I don't know how useful it is. But from what I've understood, it's actually a pretty strong card. 1 Divine Dragon Knight Felgrand. Felgrand is not very powerful anymore, but it's still pretty useful in certain in niche situations. I found it more useful at, like, if I get an anti-meta opponent, this is pretty useful because it has protection effects. 1 number 38. Number 38 is fantastic. It's spell negation. It just such a strong card. Next is the Galaxy package. 1 number 107. Oh, that's a little too far to the left. 1 number 107. 1 number 62. 1 Galaxy S Full Armor. And 1 number 95 Dark Matter. This is like the bread and butter. In standard Blue Eyes, I'll switch out a bunch of cards to get the Amorphage lock with this. You've got a 4,000 body, and they can't special summon from the extra deck, which can be really difficult to get around. And it's just super powerful. Full Armor will pop monsters, so on and so forth. And finally, 1 Decode Talker. Decode Talker is just a generic link. You know what it does. So that is it for my Blue Eyes Chaos Max deck profile. Again, to my buddy, happy birthday. I hope you enjoyed the deck. This is how I've been playing it. I have a lot of fun with it. It does really, really well for me. And, you know, in this lighting, Chaos Max looks wicked cool. You've got the red and blue in it and clashing. I love it. I think the lighting of this is just making it look fantastic. So, hope you guys enjoyed. I'll be bringing you guys a couple more deck profiles over the next few weeks. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I will see you next time. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And in case you didn't know, I have the full deck list, in case you're wondering if I went too fast for you or something, in the description below. So check that out. Like, comment, subscribe. Check us out on Facebook. Don't follow me on Twitter. I'm slowly and quickly moving away from it. But hope you guys enjoyed.